The Broadcasting Minister is standing her ground amid ongoing pressure over a meeting that resulted in the shock resignation of RNZ's Head of News, Carol Hirschfeld. Clare Curran says she has no intention of resigning as Broadcasting Minister despite National accusing her of a cover-up. She's released a series of text messages between her and Carol Hirschfeld as they arranged the meeting, which she says is the only information about communication between them held by her office. Here's our political editor, Jane Patterson.
Carol Hirschfeld resigned after repeatedly misleading RNZ's chief executive about the nature of the December 5th meeting at a central Wellington cafe. She told them the breakfast meeting with the minister, who would normally communicate with the state-owned broadcaster through the chairman of the board or the chief executive, was coincidental when in fact it was planned. Clare Curran's also come under pressure after initially failing to disclose the meeting in response to parliamentary questions last December. She corrected her response but later told Parliament it was not declared, as she'd viewed it as an informal discussion. Ms Curran denies any cover-up.
I think I've been really open about what happened, how it happened. I've just released the texts between myself and Ms Hirschfeld.
The text messages revealed Clare Curran contacted Carol Hirschfeld on November the 3rd last year, saying she was keen to catch up. A series of messages went back and forth over a number of weeks as the two tried to arrange a time. On November the 23rd, they agreed to meet on the 5th of December at 8:15 in the morning at Astoria Cafe. Clare Curran says there's no reason for her to resign.
It was a meeting that I didn't consider inappropriate at the time. It wasn't a secret meeting, and once I'd corrected my answer in Parliament, I don't think there's actually any other issues.
The Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern says she's checked whether Ms Curran has broken Cabinet rules.
Minister Curran has not been in breach of it in the meeting that she had with Carol Hirschfeld, and there has not been a breach here of the Cabinet Manual. Equally, in general, ministers do meet with individuals who work in Crown entities from time to time.
But Ms Ardern says she's received an apology from her minister
for the lack of transparency from the very beginning around the fact that the meeting occurred and the fact that it was not included in that original written question. It should have been. There is no question of that. The Minister acknowledges that and has apologised.
Nationals leader Simon Bridges says Clare Curran should not be let off the hook, as several questions remain.
Really that go to what the meeting is about and why effectively a very misleading picture was presented both by Carol Hirschfeld and also by Clare Curran to RNZ, and I would argue, although it depends on what the Prime Minister was asking, to the Prime Minister.
He pursued that line of questioning a short time later in Parliament.
Was the Prime Minister advised whether funding for Radio New Zealand was discussed at the meeting? If so, what was said?
Mr Speaker, as I said yesterday and again today, very much what the Minister, I'm advised, discussed was what's already in the public domain. For instance, the Labour Party's policy in particular around RNZ Plus is free and available for everyone to see.
Labour wants to create RNZ Plus with $38 million of extra money for public broadcasting to be allocated by the Public Media Funding Commission. Ms Curran told reporters today she and Carol Hirschfeld had high-level discussions at the meeting about the future of the media, RNZ funding and the government's plans for broadcasting. She says she was not reconsidering the RNZ Plus policy or the approach the government intends to take. The chairman of the RNZ board, Richard Griffin, advised both Ms Curran and the National MP Jonathan Young, who chairs Parliament's Economic Development, Science and Innovation Select Committee, that there would be an announcement about Ms Hirschfeld's resignation on Tuesday morning. He says he also contacted the National MP Melissa Lee a few minutes before the announcement as a courtesy, as she had been asking the questions. From Parliament for Checkpoint, Jane Patterson.